morning, it's July 23rd, and this is To My Liberal Friends, and if you're on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. Well, when you listen to Democrats talk about Medicaid and Medicare, as well as any other form of health care, all they say is we need to ensure that everyone has some form of health care. It's this very premise that allows those in the progressive wing of the party to demand universal, government-funded and run health care. It's what they mean when they say Medicare for all. But anytime something that might offer health care to those that don't currently have it, but runs counter to their political motives, then all bets are off. We're seeing this play out in the Congress right now, and it pulls the mask off some of those most liberal Democrats and shows their true colors. Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy and others released several bills last week that would shield companies from a regulatory onslaught if they decide to offer health or retirement plans to their contract workers. Delivery drivers for Uber, Amazon, and other gig platforms would be able to get those benefits without the risk of the courts or federal agencies reclassifying them as full employees. Senator Cassidy's Unlocking Benefits for Independent Workers Act establishes a safe harbor under federal law for companies that would like to voluntarily provide benefits. And these apply to any benefit or protection commonly provided to their full-time employees, such as retirement and health care. It also applies to merging models where firms may pay into portable accounts or any combination of these arrangements. Senator Scott's Modern Worker Empowerment Act gives workers clarity and consistency by instituting a single employment test under federal law. Senator Rand Paul's Association Health Plans Act increased affordable health care coverage to millions of self-employed Americans and employees of small businesses by amending the ERISA Act of 74 to give small business employers, sole proprietors, and gig workers the ability to aggregate together and access health insurance through associated health plans. This allows them to get a better plan because there's more workers in the pool. And finally, Senator Cassidy's Independent Retirement Fairness Act empowers independent workers to participate in retirement plans similar to what it helped with pooled employer plans and single employer pension plan IRAs that are already available under federal law. It makes them get better deals. The bill would bridge the gap between the workers' desire for benefits and their increasing preference for flexible work. As of 2023, the Bureau of Labor Statistics categorized more than 10% of the U.S. labor force as contingent workers, a category that includes contractors and on-call employees. Surveys show that 75 to 85% of these workers prefer not to be full-time employees, but progressive regulators have sought to strip independent status from workers who receive any benefits. Democrats have opposed any effort to allow these workers to remain outside the realm of being full-time employee, even if they don't want to be full-time employees. This move to become and stay independent as workers became more prevalent during COVID. We all watched as more and more people work remotely, and many of them now strongly resist any effort to bring them back to the office and workplace. Many of them want to be independent. Democrats defend them on this effort and go on and on how productive they are working from home. In some cases, employees move further away from the office for economic reasons, less expensive housing, lower costs of living, and they're in no hurry to give that freedom up they enjoy. But if they don't want to be full-time employees, then this is where Democrats get off the train and start telling them how to live and work. As is normal in Congress, when a bill is introduced, there will be a hearing held in the Committee of Jurisdiction. Witnesses will testify on the merits and downsides of the legislation. In a committee hearing on the bill last week, Bernie Sanders sidestepped the issue of worker benefits to address his party's real concern, giving unions more power over individual workers. Quoting Bernie Sanders, these bills are about giving corporations the freedom to deny workers the right to form a union. End quote. That's exactly what he's talking about, unions. Sanders just brushes off and ignores that the vast majority of these workers don't want to be brought under the control of a full-time employee status and relish their independence. They like being independent contractors. Independent contractors can't unionize under the National Labor Relations Act, so unions and the Democrats, they want to outlaw contract work, or at least deprive it the benefits would attract workers. Democrats on the committee were united in opposition to these bills. This political opposition has deterred several gig companies from offering benefits. Uber CEO has pledged more than $650 million a year to fund health insurance and paid time off if lawmakers would withdraw the threat of reclassifying the company's drivers. You would think this would be a good thing and all politicians would cheer him on, but you'd be wrong. Democrats are tied closely to organized labor and must do their bidding even when the workers themselves object to what Democrats are doing. But there are some Democrats who are beginning to see the light. 2 Democratic-led states have cracked the door open to contractor benefits. Food delivery app DoorDash joined with Pennsylvania and Maryland lawmakers to let the company fund savings accounts for its workers. These pilot programs are time limited, but their success could draw attention to other states, and that's not going to please Bernie Sanders. The bottom line is that anytime you can find a way to allow workers to gain health care benefits and save for retirement while still working in the environment they prefer, it's a good thing. And liberals like Bernie Sanders should be applauding it instead of trying to block them and make them fit into a model that complies with his union donors. This has been To My Liberal Friends. Thanks for listening.